Welcome back to Retro Mafia. Today I had an idea to do a video on 10 games under $10 that I think you should have in your collection. Now, each game I'm going to go over, I'm going to do like a couple things that I like about it, and then try and give a negative to maybe why it might be under $10 or, what have you. But I want to start off first with Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color. Now, you can pick up this game loose for around $10. To me, it's a great pick up and play, especially if you like golfing games. Multiple modes. You've got tournament play, match play, and then there's like kind of a story to it. Like you walk around a clubhouse, things like that. You can play as multiple different characters. And the only negative I'd probably give to it is it's not a game you're going to pick up and play for hours at a time. It's, 30 minutes here. You might do a tournament, put it down, pick it back up. But for $10, I think it's definitely worth it. The next game, one of my favorites and easily put on this list, Scooby-Doo Mystery on the Super Nintendo. Now, no, you're not going to get a box copy for under $10, but loose copy's only going to run you about $3. I was shocked when I saw that price. I checked multiple sites. It's a very fun side-scrolling game. If you're a fan of the Scooby-Doo series, you'll love it. It's got, that quirky dialogue and all that. It's got a couple mini games in it that you'll have a good time with. Maybe a negative, depending on how you play games. It only has 4 levels, and you can beat them relatively easy. You collect, it's like 4 or 5 clues maybe per level. There is a Dreamcast, a Genesis version of this, but it is much more expensive. It's going to run you probably $30, and I think it only has 2 levels. I don't own it. I'm looking for it, but I don't own it. The negatives to it, very linear. If you get stuck at any point, it can kind of get boring. And the controls, they can get you in trouble at times. You're going to probably miss a few jumps here and there, and that goes back to the getting stuck part. But great game, especially for $3. This is definitely a pick-me-up, play it, beat it, put it in your collection. Next up, we've got 007 Nightfire on the GameCube. I love this game. Me and a few of my close friends played this growing up, and it's got some of the best multiplayer for the GameCube, in my opinion. It runs very similar to GoldenEye, so if you like GoldenEye, you'll love this. Has lots of characters to choose from, 4-player multiplayer split screen. The graphics are pretty good for it being a GameCube game. The controls are decent, and it's got up to 10, I think, custom multiplayer maps. Or modes, not maps. It's got several maps, too. The only negative for it, the story's not the best. Like, it's an okay story, but I wouldn't buy this game for the story. It's going to run you around $10, though, too. $10 complete. I think that's a deal. I don't see how you could go wrong with it unless you're buying it just for the story, and then maybe. But even then, still not bad. Okay, next up, Search for Reptar on the PS1. This game's going to run you again in that $10 range for a complete copy. You can probably find it a little cheaper, maybe a little over, but $10 is what it says. Multiple levels. I think it's got about 8 levels, and each level's got its own unique theme or style, from like there's a mini golf level all the way to a space level. You get to play as multiple characters. It's a great pick up and play. Some negatives with it is sometimes it can be a little slow. The story can kind of drag. And the graphics, being a PS1 game, probably didn't hold up as well as, some of the other games on this list. But for $10, definitely a pick up and play. Okay, next on the list, we're going to go to a little bit newer. We're going to dig into the PS3. I do want to start by saying that PS3, although I don't really classify it as retro right now, I feel like it's getting ready to be, because when the PS5 comes out, it'll be 2 systems old, and you classify the PS2 as being retro, so I think it's getting there. But if you haven't played this game, you might be under a rock, but Uncharted 2, probably one of my single favorite games, at least on the system, probably ever. But you can pick up this game for under $5, which to me is amazing. You could probably buy most of the series for that. I know that they've remade this on the PS4, which you might want to pick that up, but that's going to be over $5. Great story. The controls are good in my opinion. I have had some people tell me the controls can be a little lunky, but I actually think they play pretty good. You play as Nathan Drake the Treasure Hunter. Great graphics in my opinion. The visuals in the game are just amazing, where you go to the random places and you see the towns, the views, like waterfalls, mountains, just nature at its finest. Great cast of characters with the story, so it just really blends it all together. As far as the negative goes, I can't really think of anything. Maybe that it was on a PS3 when you could play it on PS4. So I guess if that's, if you really want to nitpick here. But, I mean, like I said, it's a great game. $5, I mean, you can find that kind of money in a couch cushion. Okay, next, when I saw this game was under $10, it kind of shocked me. It's been a while since I've played it, so maybe it just doesn't hold up as well as I remember from as a kid. But Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Now, this is a game that you can pick up for about $8 complete in box, and as far as RPGs go on the GameCube, I feel like it's pretty good. I mean, you've got some, larger RPGs on there, but I think this one's pretty good. It's got a great little design to the game. Gameplay's fun. I mean, it's your typical RPG. You choose from 4 characters or races you can be. Each have their own little specific strengths. There is a multiplayer option, and that would lead us to probably the only negative I can find with it would be that the multiplayer was kind of expensive back in the day, and still is honestly to get into, because you had to have 4 Game Boy Advances with the connectors, and today that's probably going to run you about $120 to pull that off. But if you've got 4 friends that all have GBAs, go for it. Okay, we're coming up on the end. We've got about 4 games left. This next one's going to be a sports title, which I know most people won't like, but if you like sports, I think it's one you need to have. It's MVP Baseball 2005. This game's going to run you about $6 complete, so very cheap game. Most sports games are. It's actually probably a little high for a sports game. Very smooth play style. The graphics aren't bad for a PS2 game. They're pretty good, actually. One of my favorite things about this game is it's got a very deep farm system with it. You get all the way down to single A, which to my knowledge no other game has other than this one, and it actually has real teams on it. Like I said, the graphics hold up pretty good for being almost 15 years old. The only negative for it, I mean, it's a sports game. You're gonna play baseball. It is what it is. It's no, fancy bells and whistles besides like franchise, dynasty, season, etc. But for $6, if you like baseball, this is one of my favorite ones. Okay, this is another one of my favorites on the PS3, Mafia 2. Now, unfortunately, Mafia 3, in my opinion, didn't hold up as well after I looked forward to it for so long. But Mafia 2 is still a game that I'll pick up and play from time to time. It's going to run you about $10. It's a great game, especially for that price. The gameplay's great. You're going to have a great time playing through it. Controls are really good, in my opinion. Similar to GTA. It's not as open world as GTA, but it's kind of open world. I mean, like, you can't really go in a bunch of shops and stuff like in GTA, but it's, pretty big world, pretty big map. Very story-driven game, which, if you like, a game that's really going to get you in and keep you going, this is a good game. The only negative I would say is it can get a little repetitive. To me, Grand Theft Auto also gets a little repetitive, so in that aspect, I guess it's right back in line with Grand Theft Auto, but it's going to give you those, like, go here, do this, go here, do that, and at times that can get a little boring, but a great game, $10, definitely a pickup. Okay, we're down to the last 2. As everybody knows, I'm a pretty big PS1 collector. This is a game that if anybody asks me what's a cheap game that's really fun to play on the PS1, I always tell them Sheep. Now, in my opinion, this is a hidden gem on the system. It only is going to run you about $6, and it's a game that you can probably find in most stores, if it's there, for about $3, just because it doesn't seem to hold value. To me, it's a great, fun game. Every time I play it, it always puts a smile on my face. You get to choose between 4 characters of, I guess they'd be shepherds, and you herd sheep through 7 worlds and 28 levels while avoiding traps. Now, it is just your typical puzzle game, I guess, but it's so, like, to me, it's more. It's just such a fun game, and the way everything just goes in each level is there's things you have to avoid, like electric fences, there's like combines, there's other dogs, I think. And the only negative, really, I would say to this is if you don't like puzzle games, I doubt you'll like it. I mean, it's a puzzle game. It is what it is. You get so many sheep at the beginning of the level, and you have to get so many to the end. But it's a great game, in my opinion, and for $6, I mean, I think it's a deal. Okay, we finally made it to number 10. This is a game that honestly hurts my heart to put it on this list. It deserves to be in like a museum or something. It's so great. But Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Now, this is gonna run you about $7 complete in box, which I feel like this game should be up there with Twin Snakes in like the $40-50 range. I guess because they just made so many of it that it's not, it's everywhere. Because I always seem to see this in Sons of Liberty at yard sales. But this game's just great. It's the gameplay and the story is just amazing. It's gonna keep you hooked. It's got a fun camouflage system where like you can put on different kinds of camo and blend in, and you'll get like from, you can be 0% all the way up to I don't know if you can get 100. I think you get like 95%. And obviously the better it is, the less likely you are to be seen. The soundtrack on it's really good. The controls, like I said, are just great. I really don't know. I mean, like, I could talk about this game forever, but the only negative, if you're nitpicking, it might be like a load time between going through the various stages, but I mean, at that, you're really just grabbing at straws. I mean, it's such a fun game, and it's definitely if you haven't played this, $7, it's definitely worth it. There are some remakes to it that you can play, I think, on the PS3, and I think the Vita got it, but it's a great game. Just talking about it makes me want to go back and play it. Alright everybody, that wraps up the list. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, I'll try to do another one, maybe do another $10, maybe get up into the $20 ones, maybe go down to $5. We'll get exciting with it. Let me know some games under $10 that you think I should have in my collection, and as always guys, keep on gaming.